How do you stop RC wire insulation from melting when soldering? Imagine you're working on your RC car or drone, and suddenly the wire insulation melts away just as you're about to finish. That can be frustrating, but with the right techniques, you can prevent that from happening. The main thing is to control the heat and protect the wire insulation during soldering. First, set your soldering iron to a moderate temperature, usually between 600 and 7,500 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 315 to 400 degrees Celsius. Using a higher temperature makes the insulation more likely to melt. Work quickly and efficiently, applying the solder and removing the iron within a few seconds. If you hold the iron on the wire too long, the heat can transfer and cause damage. To help with heat control, attach a small heat sink, like an alligator clip, to the wire between the joint and the insulation. This acts like a heat sponge, pulling heat away from the insulation and keeping it safe. Make sure to leave enough wire length so you can clip on the heat sink without interfering with the solder joint. When choosing wires, go for ones with heat-resistant insulation, like silicone or PTFE, also known as Teflon. These materials can withstand higher temperatures without melting, especially useful for power wires connecting batteries, electronic speed controllers, and motors. Be cautious with signal wires, as some still use acrylic insulation, which melts more easily. Before soldering, strip only the necessary amount of insulation and twist the strands tightly. Apply the solder quickly, letting it wick into the wire without prolonged heating. Remove the iron as soon as the solder flows smoothly. Using heat shrink tubing is another smart move. Slide a piece over the wire near the joint before soldering, then shrink it afterward to protect the connection and provide strain relief. For wires with delicate insulation, you can also slide the tubing over the insulation edge to shield it from heat. Regularly clean and tin your soldering iron tip to ensure efficient heat transfer, which means less time on each joint. Use rosin-core solder and flux to help the solder flow smoothly, reducing the need for extra heat. Avoid pressing the iron too hard on the wire, as that can transfer more heat and risk melting the insulation. In RC vehicles, where wires are often exposed to vibrations and movement, these steps help keep your connections solid and your wires safe. Silicone-insulated wires and heat sinks are especially helpful for power lines, while heat shrink tubing keeps everything protected from shorts and mechanical stress. By controlling your soldering temperature, using heat sinks, choosing the right wires, and protecting your joints with heat shrink, you can stop RC wire insulation from melting and keep your projects running smoothly.